All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Heat number 1 at Irwindale. Bill Rabbits, David Lux have the front row. Austin Edwards, Ryan McDaniel in the second. Zach Mead, Austin Ruskoff have the third row. Kirk Marble and Chris Johnson round out the field. And it does appear Austin Edwards is going to drop to the back. Looks like Bill Rabbits will also be dropping to the back, as is David Lutz. Heck, half the field is just going backwards. It looks like Zach Mead and Ryan McDaniel will now have the front row. The sun is setting here in California. Let's hope Irwindale has paid the light bill. And here we go, the pace car is in. Coming out at turn 4, the green flag flies. Heat 1 is underway. And Meade quickly clears. Kirk Marble shoots to second. Austin Edwards already up to third. Looked like Ryan got the wall out of 2. He is falling back. Look for him to fight back toward the front. Austin Ruskoff also on the attack. Austin Edwards peeking under Kirk Marble. Can't get there yet. Zach Mead has the lead, but a pack of wolves on his bumper. Kirk Marble just set the fastest lap so far. But I'm willing to bet Mead is around right in front of Kirk. Austin Edwards sneaks by. He'll take the lead. Chris Johnson now to second. Kirk slips back into third. Bill Rabbits to fourth. Ryan McDaniel back up into fifth. Zach Mead has gone to pit road. Chris Johnson in second, not gaining any ground. Kirk back in third. Bill Rabbits in fourth. And it appears Chris Johnson had a problem a moment ago. Kirk Marble now to second. This has been a chaotic first heat. To go in Heat 1. Austin Edwards way out front. Bill Rabbits is taking it to pit road. Kirk Marble in second, Chris Johnson in third, as Austin takes the white flag one more time around. Austin taking it to the apron through 3 and 4 and doing his little drift as Austin Edwards wins Heat 1. Kirk Marble comes home in second, Chris Johnson in third. Joey, you're absolutely right. It was Spin City And will it be again here in Heat 2? Dave Holmberg and Riley Duncan on the front row. Ed Sr. and Joe Lux on the second. Bill Lux, Brian Hewitt on the third. Richie Joplin rounding out the field. Will these guys find more grip? Holmberg and Duncan do not take the grid. Will these guys have enough grip to keep them pointed the right way, or will it be more spins? Brian Hewitt warming his tires quite aggressively back there. Barney the flag man gives them the signal, 1 to go. All right, pace car dives to pit road. Here they come, out of turn 4, the green flag flies. Heat 2 is underway. And see, oh! Looked like Bill got a big bump coming out of turn 2. Brian Hewitt now shoots to second, and Richie has already made his way to third. Hewitt is closing the gap on Ed Sr. Oh, Hewitt gets loose into the turn. Richie goes by. Hewitt is spinning again. Richie is closing on Ed Sr., but tonight could be Ed's first heat win this season. If he can hold off the hard-charging Richie Joplin, but you know Richie wants it bad. He wants that championship. He is going for it. Richie Joplin to the lead. Senior tried to cross back over, couldn't get it done. Bill Lux in third is closing in. Quite a recovery for Bill. Joe Lux back in fourth. Hewitt has recovered in fifth. Three laps to go. Richie is already pulling away. Ed Sr. in second has Bill closing the gap as Richie continues to make the gap bigger. And here we go, out of turn 4, white flag flies. One more time around for Heat 2. And Bill Lux looks like he is going to take second as Richie Joplin takes the win in Heat 2. Looks like Richie's trying some Austin Edwards drifting there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this. The season finale from Irwindale. Kyle McCracken Martin and Edmund Jones on the front row. Austin Edwards, Richie Joplin on the second row. Kirk Marble and Bill Lux on the third. Chris Johnson and Ed Sr. on the fourth. Ryan McDaniel and Joe Lux round out the top 10. Austin Ruskoff starting in 11th next to Brian Hewitt. Bill Rabbits in 13th. Dave Holmberg in 14th. Zach Mead, Riley Duncan, and David Lux round out the field. Riley Duncan and Dave Holmberg do not take to the grid. And remember, just a 4-point gap between Edmund Jones and Richie Joplin. And I don't think anybody wants it more tonight than Richie. But he's going to have to get past Edmund and McRecken to get it done. Who will walk away with the championship tonight? With all the spinning we saw in the heats, we saw that late model race go green to checkers. Will we see cautions here tonight? The pace car is in. Let's find out. As they come out of turn 4, the green flag is in the air. They are underway. The season finale from Irwindale. I know. Whoa, already 3 wide at the front. Austin sends it. Edmund Jones, Edmund's in the wall. Austin to the lead. Richie Joplin into second. Kirk Marble in third. David Lux, and caution is out. Looks like a bit of an incident back behind. And our first caution of the night. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at there's the battle up front at the start. Edmund just gets a good run out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Takes the lead going off into 3, then gets loose into the wall and lost a ton of ground. Is that the moment that will decide the championship? And there is McRecken around. Take another look at this. McRecken trying to move back to the front. Gets a tap from Ed Sr., Ryan McDaniel, and Joe Lux nowhere to go. McRecken is on pit road. Austin Edwards has the lead. Richie Joplin in second. Edmund Jones slips back to 5th. Could that first lap be the moment that decided the championship? Edmund now back in 5th, Richie in 2nd. Lights are out, they are stacked up, ready to go. Pace car dives in. Austin Edwards in control. And out of turn 4, the green flag flies once again, and something is wrong with Edmund. Austin quickly shoots to the lead. Richie Joplin still has second. The battle is on between Marble and Bill Lux. Bill holds on to third. Edmund Jones has been dropping back. He is now back into 14th. Looked like he might have been blinking on the restart. Man, what a heartbreak. Austin Edwards has the lead, but Richie Joplin just set the fastest lap. Richie looking for every bonus point possible tonight. Kirk Marble in fourth. Brian Hewitt currently in fifth. Zach Mead back in sixth. And the caution is back out for Bill Rabbits. Let's see what happened to Bill. This is definitely huge. It will give Edmund the help, potentially the help he needs to get back into the fight. And let's see what happened to Bill. There's Bill coming through. He gets big loose. Everybody behind has to check up, but everybody manages to avoid him. Austin Ruskoff, McRecken, Ryan McDaniel, all to pit road. Edmund also going in. David Lux and Ed Sr. also in. Austin Ruskoff is in. Likely these are fuel-only stops. The drivers likely, because of the extended race tonight, likely are going to need a drop of fuel before it's all said and done. It is good to see Richie back in a Chevy. Edmund Jones is back out on track, but now back in 12th. His championship hopes may be over. He has got to hope to get through this field quickly. And more importantly, get through it unscathed. All right, here we go. Austin Edwards in control. Green flag back in the air. Richie up top. Austin on the bottom. Austin clears it into the lead. Kirk Marble pulling up into third. Bill Lux in fourth. Brian Hewitt trying to get by. Hewitt couldn't get the run to the outside. Chris Johnson has now moved up into sixth. Edmund Jones is making his way through. He's up to eighth. Austin Edwards just set the fastest lap and pulled a big gap on Richie. Kirk Marble now to Richie's bumper. Brian Hewitt still holding on to fifth. Chris Johnson in sixth. Edmund Jones down to seventh as he continues his attack to the front. Good evening, David. How are you, buddy? Austin Edwards is starting to gap the field just a little bit. Holy cow, Kirk is sideways. Kirk is around in turn one. The caution will fly again. Gerald, on a short track, I would disagree. Let's take another look at Kirk's incident. Looking down on Kirk Marble as he tries to get under Richie and take second, just cuts it a little too much, and Ford's gonna Ford. That did help Edmund Jones even further. He's now back up into 6th place. Gerald, my point exactly. We see it a lot on Sunday mornings when GT3 NSS is on track. The Ford just lacking in rear grip. Apparently it's the same here in the ARCA. Should be getting the 1 to green this time by. Lights go out, they stack up. Richie Joplin in second. Edmund Jones currently in 6th. And Austin Edwards out front. The pace car dives in. And here they come out of turn 4. The green flag flies once again. The early cautions definitely have helped Edmund fight his way back to the front. But Richie Joplin, the only one so far that has the speed to stay with Austin. Ryan Hewitt moves up into 3rd. On the attack here tonight. Bill Lux right behind, and Edmund Jones now in 5th. And Edmund gets the run to the outside on Lux. Austin continues to lead. Richie in 2nd. Hewitt now has 3rd, but has a very hungry Edmund Jones on his bumper. A 4-point gap between the two. Zach Mead up 8 spots now into 7th. Austin Rushkoff up 3 spots into 8th. Joe Lux trying to take 8th up top. McCracken currently in 10th, trying to fight back to the front. Edmund Jones now in 4th. But Chris Johnson all over his bumper. Kirk Marble, after his incident, back in 10th place, trying to fight his way back to the front as well. now, Edmund would be champ. Still a lot of laps left to settle this one. Brian Hewitt still holding on to fourth. Chris Johnson in fifth. Bill Lux in sixth. And Bill was really fast late in the run in the late models, making passes on the bottom. Could he do the same here? Zach Mead on the attack, looks to the outside. Can't quite get there yet, but he is pushing it. Chris down to the bottom. Lux has a run up top. Chris trying to use that low line. But only at one end of the track. Often here at Irwindale, you see two different approaches. They do one way around the track, like to the outside for 1 and 2, and all the way down to the bottom at 3 and 4. Austin Edwards still in the lead. Richie in second. Edmund in third. Neither one of the championship contenders has led a lap tonight. Zach Mead now up into sixth as he continues to march to the front. Chris Johnson seems to be drifting back a little bit. Austin Ruskoff in eighth, right on his bumper. And right behind Austin, McRecken and Kurt. In fact, let's dial up McRecken's in-car camera. Take a couple laps along with him as he goes through 3 and 4 on the throttle, out of turn 2, down the front straightaway, back down into 1 and 2, keeping it up high, cuts it a little bit low mid-turn to power out. McRecken now looks underneath Austin Ruskoff. Car does not appear to be as loose as what we saw the late models, but it has appeared once it snaps on you. There ain't no saving it here tonight. Remember, these drivers do have to be careful of the wall. We see a lot of them right on it, occasionally scraping it. But as we heard in the late model race, Richie just barely tapped it and got wheel damage, so they have to be careful how wide they go on corner exit. No change in the top three. Hewitt still holds on to fourth. Bill Lux, holy cow! Chris Johnson did a wall ride down the front stretch. And a lot of sparks flying here tonight. Zach Mead keeps occasionally getting a look to the outside, looking for that opening he can get through. They are closing back in on Brian Hewitt. The top three continue to pull away. Hewitt now 2.4 seconds behind third place, Edmund Jones. Richie Joplin currently in second. Austin still has the lead. But this battle from fourth on back is heating up. Bill Lux looks to the inside. Zach Mead cuts low, almost across the nose of McRecken. And Kirk Marble almost had an opportunity as McRecken checked up. Mead's going to try it down the bottom. And he is going to run. Lux trying to fight back up top. Hewitt catches a little bit of the wall. Mead still trying to fight on the bottom. Now McRecken right to Lux's bumper. And it looks like Mead may get trapped on the bottom, may actually lose some ground here. Looks like he might have pushed it a little too hard. Back up front, Austin Edwards still in the lead. Richie Joplin in second is closing in. Edmund Jones in third is starting to drift back just a little bit. They are 3 wide out of 4. No surprise to see 3 wide. We have seen 5 wide multiple times here in the past. Surprised we haven't seen it yet tonight, to be honest. Especially with this battle going on from about 4th on back. McRecken moves into 5th. And Chris Johnson just shot the gap up the middle. Chris Johnson saw the opening, went up the middle, 3 wide. He is now up into 6th as McRecken has gone to 4th. And Lux kisses the wall. Chris Johnson holding on to 5th. Brian Hewitt losing some ground. He had a great start, but that battle may have worn the tires. He has slipped back to 9th. Meanwhile, 4th place McRecken now 5 seconds behind Edmund Jones. But it does look like the last couple of laps, McRecken is the faster car. Austin Edwards still has Richie right on the bumper. Edmund about 0.8 of a second back. And you know Richie Joplin is really open. McRecken gets up there and takes 3rd away. Austin Edwards, Richie Joplin still nose to tail. Looks like neither driver is pushing it very hard. We did hear Richie say he would be conserving a little bit in this race to make sure he had something at the end. Kirk Marble now back up into 6th. Zach Mead in 7th. Austin Ruskoff in 8th. Bill Lux has slipped back to 9th. Brian Hewitt in 10th. Ryan McDaniel back in 11th. Joe Lux in 12th. And Bill Hippity Hop Rabbits in 13th. Joe Lux is slow down on the bottom. He may be coming in. And it does appear Joe is coming to pit road. Edmund Jones continuing to lose ground. He's now a second behind Richie. And Kyle McRecken Martin, about 5 seconds back, is consistently faster than Edmund. Based on what I've seen the last couple of laps, he'll have 2 or 3 good laps, make a mistake in one corner and lose what he's made up. McRecken finds some consistency. He might be able to get there. Kirk Marble now up into 5th. Zach Mead in 6th. Chris Johnson, after that gutsy move that moved him up through the field, Chris Johnson has slipped back into 7th. Brian Hewitt back in 10th, still keeping Bill within striking distance, but they have slipped about 3.5 seconds behind Ruskoff. And it looks like Austin Ruskoff is looking. Chris Johnson just ahead. Austin's going to go to the outside. Can't get alongside, though, to shut the run down. McRecken is losing ground to the top 3. He is now 5.25 seconds behind Edmund. Meanwhile, Edmund is gaining a couple of tenths here and there. He is now 0.8 of a second behind Richie. However, looking at this, don't forget, Austin is about to be in lap traffic. And as the leaders navigate through lap traffic, that is the riskiest part of the night. As we just hit the halfway point in the championship race. Marble at the moment is the faster car and is closing up on McRecken. Zach Mead just over a second back is faster than both of them. He is closing the gap. Austin Ruskoff has a run underneath Chris. They come out of turn 2 side by side. That Highline has the momentum, but Austin may clear and come up. Not yet out of 4. Chris does get the better run. Inches apart, it is allowing Bill Lux, who was about 6 seconds back. He and Hewitt are closing up. As we've got a battle for 4th, Kirk Marble gets the run under McRecken. McRecken gets in the wall. McRecken got a little bit loose in turn 3. That back end caught the wall. Kirk almost got the pass. Austin Edwards, Richie Joplin now into heavier lap traffic. It does look like Edmund is starting to close back up. Richie's going to go for it. Oh, a little bobble out of 4. Looked like Richie might have the run, but as he got on the power, the car just got a little loose. Hewitt dropped to the bottom to let the leaders get by. Lux also dropped into the bottom, letting the leaders by. But as these lap cars drop to the bottom, it does take away the line. Austin seems to want to run. Richie just hasn't been able to capitalize yet, but Edmund Jones has. He closes back up. McRecken and Kirk still battling it out. McRecken in the wall again, just giving it a little bit of kiss. But now Zach Mead has caught him. And Mead, for the last little bit, has been the faster of the three. Kirk can get the run underneath, but it's the run on corner exit that is the problem here. But Kirk has it. He slides up. McRecken crosses over. Apparently they briefly thought they were dirt racing. Slide jump by Kirk. Crossover by McRecken. Clear track ahead. Austin Edwards and Richie Joplin are pulling away from Edmund again. Wow, McRecken was really on the wall down the front stretch. The right side of that car is getting worn out tonight. Zach Mead lurking right behind, waiting for one or both of them to make a mistake. He almost got his opportunity there. Mead just looking for any opening. But Mead will have an advantage. These two battling are wearing out their tires a heck of a lot faster, and Mead sees the opening. He looks to the bottom. 3 wide, off into 3. Marble pushes up. That couldn't get it done that time. I will say it's been a while since we have seen anybody hang on Austin Edwards' bumper this well. Bill Rabbits has gone to pit road. Now it looked like he may have had a problem out of 2. Oh, and Zach Mead and Kirk Marble have a problem. The caution will fly. Well, this caution will shake everything up. It'll bring the field back together, and everybody likely to go in and get tires here in a moment. Let's see what happened with Kirk Marble and Zach Mead. Zach got the run to the high side. Looked like Zach got loose. Let's dial up the chopper. Zach came down just a little bit onto Kirk's nose and sent both of them down to pit road. And here they all come to pit road. Right sides are going up on Austin and Richie and Edmund. Couple of guys staying out, and here they come back off pit road, coming out the same way they went in. Austin, Richie, and Edmund come out 1, 2, 3. Austin Ruskov coming out in fourth. Kyle McCracken Martin in fifth. Chris Johnson in sixth. Kirk Marble will be in seventh. Ryan McDaniel looks like is moving up to eighth. Brian Hewitt in ninth. Zach Mead back to 10th. Bill Luck still sitting on pit road as they're about to get the 1 to green. Looks like Bill is having a bit of an extended stop. As here we go, coming out of turn 4. The green flag flies once again. 50 to go at Irwindale. And they are all back together again. Austin Edwards clears. There's a wreck behind. McCracken is around. Hewitt's involved. Ryan, Zach, everybody. And the caution is back out. Looks like Bill Rabbit's actually got out on track just in time to get involved. Let's see what happened. Dialing up the chopper camera for this one. Oh, looks like McCracken came up, thought he was clear. Got just a little bit of Chris Johnson and it sent him to the wall. Austin Ruskov, I think, got a bump as well. Yep, when McCracken went up, he got into Austin. Austin couldn't save it. Wow. Austin Ruskov, Brian Hewitt, both on pit road, getting repairs. Bill Rabbits is back out on track. Yeah, Gerald, that was a bit of a mess. All right, lights are out. They're stacked up, ready to go again. Pace car dives to pit road. Richie staying glued to Austin. Here they come, out of turn 4, green flag. Back in the air, Austin is away. Richie trying to attack up top. Edmund trying to shoot up in there. Couldn't get it, gets a little squirrely. Chris Johnson now on the... Richie is sideways. The caution is out. Man, what a turn of events. This is going to be a setback, but remember, Edmund Jones went to the tail right at the start of the race, so Richie still has a shot to come back. looks underneath Austin, pushes it a little too hard. Man, what a setback. Good news for Richie is because of that long green flag run, and a lot of cars were put a lap down, Richie drops back to 6th. But does he have any damage that will affect his speed? He got a couple of light taps, but hopefully nothing catastrophic. Lights go out on the pace car. Pace car dives to pit road. Austin Edwards now has Edmund Jones to the outside. And here we come out of 4, green flag, back in the air. 40 laps to go. Edmund Jones starting to slip back. Chris had a run. Couldn't get there. Now McRecken right to his bumper. Austin Edwards loves the battling back behind as he pulls away. Edmund holds on to 2nd for the moment. Richie jumps. Oh, Richie loose out of 4. Slams the wall. They are wrecking back behind. Bill Lux looks like he took a bit of damage. Edmund Jones just set the fastest lap of the night. Keep an eye on Bill Lutz right behind Richie. Richie tried to go the bottom 3 wide. Couldn't quite get it there. Loose out of 4. Bill just has nowhere to go. Straight into the bumper. And Bill Rabbits gets loose by himself just below. A bit of chaos late in this one. Austin Edwards continues to lead. Edmund looked like he tried to shoot under. McRecken currently in 3rd, Kirk Marble in 4th, Chris Johnson in 5th, Richie Joplin in 6th, and Zach Mead in 7th. And it looks like Richie took some significant damage to the back end. Not sure if it's affecting the handling, but he is losing ground to Chris Johnson. Austin Edwards continues to lead, but Edmund peeking underneath. And Edmund may have a run coming out of 2. Heads off into turn 3. Austin has the nose ahead. McRecken and Kirk closing in back behind as they battle. Contact. Austin holds on to it. Austin gets the wall big. McRacken got the wall as well. Kyle holds on to it but loses ground. He is back into fourth. Now Kirk Marble up in the battle. Edmund continuing to look under Austin for the lead. Richie Joplin continuing to run in sixth, but Zach Mead is on his bumper now. Kirk Marble has a big advantage here while these two fight it out. He is not having to battle. He can save a little bit of his tires. When they can't battle anymore, he might be able to sneak by. But McRacken is closing back in. Yep, Gerald, it does appear Richie's car is a little banged up. "24 laps to go. Richie in sixth, losing ground on the cars ahead. And his championship hopes tonight are fading rapidly. Apparently Richie has some damage to the right front. I'm not seeing it. But it definitely appears to be affecting the car. Meanwhile, the top three have gone single file again. Kyle Martin closing back up on the group, as is Chris Johnson. Okay, Richie has damage to the right front tire and steering. Likely has significant wheel damage. He had the same problem late in the late model race. Edmund Jones looking for the lead. He bobbles. Kirk's got to run to the outside. Edmund still trying to fight on the bottom. Kirk trying to stay right on Austin Edwards' bumper. Ryan McDaniel currently runs in 8th. Bill Rabbit's in 9th. Joe Lux currently in 10th. Bill Lux officially out of the race. As Edmund Jones, he had the nose ahead for the moment as he worn Austin down enough. Edmund Jones gets scored for leading that lap. That bonus point could very well have sealed his championship. Bill Rabbits in 9th has gone to pit road. Lap traffic about to come back into play as the leaders battle. Austin Edwards continues to lead. Edmund, Kirk Marble is in. Everybody was in on lap 96, so fuel is not an issue. As Richie Joplin and Zach Mead are battling for fifth. Kirk Marble on his way back out on track. I don't actually think Kirk stopped in his pit stall. I have to wonder if he got a penalty. 10 laps to go. McGrecken not able to hang with the top two. Currently sits in third. Chris Johnson in fourth. Richie Joplin holds on to fifth for the moment. Likely to be a side-by-side battle to the end. Edmund sends it in deep that time. Oh, Edmund a little loose. Out of two, allows Austin to get ahead. Edmund just sends it deeper into three. And Kyle's car is banged up, hitting the wall again out of turn four. Joe looks up into the wall as the leaders come by. 5 to go. Austin was sideways. He opens the door. Edmund is in. Austin crosses over. Austin back to the lead for the moment. Edmund sends it deep. Can't quite get there. 4 to go. Nobody is going to be able to catch these two. So it comes down to this. 3 laps to go at Irwindale. Richie Joplin has moved up into fourth. And here we go, 2 laps to go. As they run right now, Edmund Jones would be the new champ. Edmund is loose. He is down on pit road. Richie Joplin back behind, closing in. The white flag flies. Edmund comes back up on track in third. Richie in fourth. But through 3 and 4, Austin Edwards will go to victory lane. Kyle McGrecken Martin comes home in second. Edmund Jones finishes third, likely clinching the championship. Richie Joplin comes home in fourth. Zach Mead finishes in fifth. Austin Edwards burning his tires down. And Chris Johnson helping him celebrate. Let's talk to our top 3, starting with the new champ, Edmund Jones. Edmund, you almost threw it all the way, battling for the win. Well, I had Edmund, there you are.
How's it going, Doug?
You almost threw it all away, battling for the win.
Yes. round back to me afterwards. Get the other two. I'm doing points.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk to the other two, starting with second place, Kyle McRecken Martin. Took me a minute to find McRecken. McRecken, you didn't have the speed for the top two, but things went in your favor to come home in second.
Yeah, no, that sucks for Ed there at the end. I felt like I had the speed to stay up there with them, but actually making the pass, no, that wasn't happening. My car ended up backwards twice in this race. I think I had like 6 or 7 minutes of damage, so the fact that I was even up there was pretty cool. If they weren't side by side, they were driving right away from me.
You definitely wore out the right side of that car tonight, man. We saw sparks coming off of it. I don't know how many times. Saw you slam the wall a couple of times. That car is going to be useless.
Yeah, no, I think we're just going to go buy a new chassis after this year. This thing needs to be retired.
Probably so, but man, definitely a good comeback after that huge setback early on. You managed to come home in second. A great way to end your season, man. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. I think this chassis's got 1 win, 2 DNFs, and a second, so we'll take it.
It is probably time to change out and get something maybe a little more lucky.
Yeah, right?
Well, great job tonight, buddy. Congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And finally, from Victory Lane, Austin Edwards. Austin, it's almost like you've raced here before.
I luckily have a couple of times, but I don't think that helped me much tonight. I think tonight was a really good showing of just how competitive these guys are in JBSRL, because I had to give it everything I had, and if it weren't for Ed's little mess up there, he was in a perfect spot to give me a little boot, scoot, and boogie.
Well, you guys definitely had one heck of a close battle, and I think with about 10 to go, Edmund Sinek got in front of you. You crossed back over. I thought you guys forgot you were on asphalt and were dirt racing for a minute.
Well, you know, that's the cool thing about a track like Irwindale. When you get a track that's so top dominant, there's different lines you can run. You'll see fake slide jobs. You'll see that at Irwindale, Lucas Oil, things like that. And it's just really fun to do in these big asphalt cars because they're big, they're heavy, and they got a lot of power. So it's a lot of wrestling going on. But no, it was an incredible battle with me and Ned. I was running from Richie for the first half there, trying to battle of saving tires, which after talking to those guys after the checker, it sounds like they both had more tires saved than me. So that would have been an interesting battle had we not had that caution. But it was really exciting after that, running for my life with McRecken on my bumper and Eddie dive bombing me every single corner for the last 50 laps. But that was a tough one. That one was really tough. So I'm really excited to see what we got next season, going back to Legends and Tour Mods, and give JBSRL an amazing final season.
Well, we do have to mention next season being the final season, and we are going back to the Legends and the Tour Mods, but could we see a Tour Mod race where the cone returns?
I don't know if that's private information or not yet, but if there is a cone on the racetrack, you know who it's going to be.
Well, man, I hope we see the cone at least once next season. Great win tonight.
Thank you, Doug.
And finally, let's get a word with our new champ. Well, Edmund, you really didn't have to do the math. You came into the night ahead of Richie, and you finished on track ahead of Richie.
The reason we had to do the math is drops, Doug. We do have one drop.
Aha. So, did you still win the championship?
By 11 points, and I am officially the very first guy in league history to win a double championship.
Well, you know, it's interesting. They only have one more opportunity to do it.
That they do. I mean, the roller coaster of emotions right now, man. Like, get to battle it out with arguably one of the biggest supporters of JBSRL and a really good friend of mine with Austin Edwards. I hated seeing Richie spin it. You know I did the same thing. Battling it out with some of the best guys that have been on track in this league, especially the night that we announced our farewell tour, I guess, of sorts, I guess is the best way of calling it.
That's a good way to put it.
It's man, I'm trying not to get choked up.
I understand. Let me ask you this one question because I just asked Austin about it. The tour mods are back next season. Will
Yes.
we see the cone car return at least once?
You will see the cone car return one time in the finale at Legacy Phoenix.
Let's just make sure the lights are on at Phoenix when we go there.
That's exactly why we're going to Legacy Phoenix. Me and Andrew have so much history at that track. We've had some of our best races at that track. We've had so much controversy at that track. That the finale of the tour mods is going to be a event. Everybody wants to show up. It is going to be big, and hopefully comes down to the same thing as this season. Comes down to that last moment to crown a champion. And I mean, if Austin Edwards is in the points, I will personally jump into the cone car if we really have to, but the cone car will get out there at least once. The return of the Legends cars, which we haven't had Legends in quite a few seasons, and it's shaping up to be exactly what I'm hoping it'll be. I'm just hoping and calling all the guys out there, if you've ran with us, come run with us. I'm taking the limits off the tour mods. We're not staying at 20. We are going as many guys as show up. You're gonna run, and let's just go have some fun one last time.
Well, man, congratulations. A great way to end the season and the first ever dual champ. Congratulations, Edmund.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate everything you've done for us, man, and really can't wait to get through this season and get to arguably the biggest event I've ever been a part of planning with the How to Suck at iRacing All-Star race. That is going to be the capper of next season.
It definitely will, man. Congratulations and a lot to look forward to, buddy.
Hey, thanks, Doug.
Well, for the first time ever, thank you so much, Tina, for the stars. And for the first time ever, a dual champion, Edmund Jones, wins both championships. And wow, what a finale. Guys, don't forget, tomorrow night, Retreads Racing, 6:30 Eastern. Dirt racing, followed by some high-speed super speedway. We've seen a lot of great racing come out of that group. Make sure you tune in. We'll see you tomorrow. Hope everybody has a great night.